And now I think Stefano's going to tell us how we're going to get lunch. Is that right? I think so. Hey. So this will be working in 20 minutes and we'll be out in the foyer. Excellent. All right. Please welcome Stefano.
Should be done? All right. Well, talking about pizza before lunch is quite tricky, but let's go to that. My name is Stefano Tempesta. Microsoft MVP, Microsoft Regional Director. So I want to share just an experience of building a bot using serverless capability, in this case on the Azure cloud. And the way I want to do that is basically going through a few steps that for installing the bot framework on your Visual Studio setup so that you can quickly code your bot with in C# or in Node.js and then deploy this to the Azure cloud. The bot comes in different flavors. We'll see a few of them. How we can configure the bot to understand what we are trying to say, and hopefully the bot will be able to reply properly. And then connect the bot also with external services and run the bot on different channels. So we can run in a web, we can run it on Skype, in Teams, in Slack, on Facebook Messengers. There are different channels that are supported. During your testing, you can emulate all these different channels, and there is an application called Channel Emulator for testing your interaction with the bot itself. Now, I'll go in now in Azure and we'll show you how that works. But it's very simple. There is a specific service in the cloud, in the Azure cloud, that is called Web App Bot that you can create from the Azure Marketplace. This will create a service that can be deployed on different channels. This bot service itself is able to manage the authentication of the bot. So the bot is only for you, for your app. It's not meant to be for public, unless obviously you want to create a sort of a public website with a bot itself, and then the website would be the owner of the bot, but any communication to the bot is authenticated. The bot will route all the messages. At the end, a bot is a REST API, is a web API. And so you post a message, a JSON message, to an endpoint. This is a public endpoint. You want to protect the endpoint and route the message between the two parties that are involved on the specific channel. We'll see that in a moment. The bot service also manages state. We are ordering pizza. We'll order a pizza from a specific pizzeria, so we need to remember what kind of pizza we have ordered, from where we are ordering, and then prepare the order and submit the order. And session tracking, so we know, or at least the bot service knows all this kind of interaction. So let me go in my Azure portal now. Zoom in a bit so I can see better from a distance. All right, go and create a new resource. Under AI and machine learning, because this is an artificial intelligence capability, you find the web app bot. And it's pretty simple. It takes really a few minutes. You give it a name, your subscription, your resource group. I know, we've seen before how many things you have to fill in to create something in Azure. Your location, there are a few locations supported, not all of the Azure location, depending where the service is deployed, the pricing tier, the app name, the bot template, the LUIS app location, which may be different, and indeed there are only 3 locations. What is a LUIS application? It's a language understanding intelligent service, which is basically the capability to understand natural language. You speak or you type in different languages, and it will understand or try to understand what you're saying. And a few other things. And third-time location for application insight. You can have really multiple regions, one for intelligence, one for tracking, one for the deployment itself. And then you create the bot. I have already done it. It takes a few minutes, so I want to optimize time. So I have already created my Mario Pizza bot. At the end is an endpoint that is available, deployed on the Azure cloud. Now, the interesting part is that you can build the bot directly in here. There we go. 1 second. And directly from the Azure cloud, you can download the source code. So, and you can choose also which language. I think it will ask you whether you want to choose. Okay, now this is already deployed. Oh, sorry. But it will ask you whether you want the source code in C# or in Node.js. And then test it here in the web chat. Now, let's see what happens, because this is a bot that has been created out of the box. I didn't make any change, and it's fully functional, but it's not our Mario bot. It's not our pizza ordering bot. This is come pretty fine for booking flights. So the way it works is say something like book a flight from Melbourne to Paris on September, spelling 20, for example. And what happens is the bot will try to understand the sentence and extract some key words from there and say, oh, sorry, but the following airport is not supported. Where are you traveling from? So he understood that I'm making a request to book a flight from to on a specific date, but unfortunately Melbourne is not supported. So to Sydney should be supported. And this is, again, is out of the box bot as it comes. And then he asks, okay, now give me an exact date, including the year, which I didn't specify. So I can go and say September 2019. Oh, come on, you're really pedantic, but you can do it. And I say, okay, please confirm, are you traveling to Paris from Sydney in this date? Correct, yes and no. Now see how the interaction has changed. Rather than asking to type or even to speak, you can introduce a voice recognition engine here. Yes or no, you can choose between two options, make it easier. Yes. And it goes there, I have you booked a flight. Super easy. I have now a flight booked from Paris to Sydney. From Sydney to Paris. What else? You can do nothing. But this is the out-of-the-box bot that you get. So as soon as you deploy it and you go into build, download the source code, that's all it does. This is not Mario, this is not doing pizza, this is Jane from the travel agency. And the way it is, just to give you an idea, so this is the source code just downloaded from Azure, is an API controller. If you're familiar with this structure, this is a web API in .NET, in C#, with a controller base, and all it does, all you can do is to post asynchronously a message. And then it defines an entity. This is my booking details, destination, origin, travel date, and then manage a few things. The different action, they're called intent, and the different entities, airport, from, to, and so on. Again, forget about this, because what I want to show you now is our bot ready for launch, Mario. So let me switch to the other project, but before doing that, I actually show you how that looks like. So let me run Mario. I'm running the project. It doesn't look very fancy, forget me. I'm not a web designer. It's meant to work, not to look pretty. But basically, here you have an endpoint. It's running on localhost because it's running for my computer. Obviously, you want to deploy this in the cloud later. Be polite, tell your name, and say, hi there. Send a message to Mario. And now Mario is welcoming, say, hey, do you want to order a pizza? I would like to, but not yet, because lunch is not served yet. So I'm going to say no for now. Say, thanks and goodbye. Interaction completed. Say, hey mate, hold on. I say, okay, do you want to order a pizza? Starting again, it's getting a bit repetitive. All right then, yes, this time. Okay, what kind of pizza do you want? Margherita, for cheese, or salami? And that's the price. Okay, I'm going to challenge you, Mario. I'm going to ask for a pineapple pizza. Oh, come on. Pineapple. Here we go. Sorry, I don't have that kind of pizza. Well, Mario is Italian. We don't eat pineapple pizza in Italy. So that's a good choice. Thank you. Thank you for the appreciation. All right. What shall we take? We'll take a salami for now. All right? Salami is acceptable. Okay. Where do you want to order? Okay. We are in Melbourne, so I order from Il Gusto in Basil Street or in Tomato Street. Okay. This is Il Gusto. They're not real pizzerias. They're all made up. Okay, invalid option. Try again, please. Now, what happened here? Look at this. This bullet point is asking to type or to speak the name of the pizza that you're ordering. This instead is a numbered list. So instead of typing, because name can be also complex to type and prone to spelling mistake, then a numbered list, the option to enter is actually a number. So 2. Now, the UI here is not obvious for this kind of interaction. You may want to make it different, but you have full control on how the bot looks like. This is purely HTML. The backend will understand the kind of entry you're doing. So number 2, order confirmed. Now, see, this looks slightly different. So something happened here. We processed the order from El Gusto for a salami pizza for $18. Thank you for your business. All right then, so what happened on the backend side? Let me stop this. I have to create, I need to create a few models. The model is a pizza, just name and price, the pizzeria, name and address, and I have also some latitude and longitude for ordering purposes. And then I need to connect these two entities in a flow, in sort of one messages after the other one. Let me show you this from a diagram perspective. From a message perspective, basically I have a hello message, pizzeria message, confirmation, goodbye. These are a sequence of messages that you expect to interact with the bot. There may be exception, because for example at the beginning we say no, and it jumps straight away down to the goodbye message at the end. So you can skip some steps, and this is your logic, but what you need to do from a coding perspective is identify the sequence of messages that you expect to interact with a bot. And then pizza and pizzeria are your two entities that represent the state, the memory. So this bot, Mario, remembers that at this stage you chose this pizza. At this other stage you chose this pizzeria, and eventually do the confirmation. And the confirmation is, well, actually the hello message is the first message. It asks hello, identifies my name from the activity. The activity is something that I post, is my message, is my interaction with the bot, and ask if you want to order a pizza. And then I skip the messages, I go to the end, and you see the last message the last stage is slightly more complex, because it shows, get me the pizza from my memory, from what you have selected, the current state, the pizzeria, and then reset, because I already took your order, and create a receipt. When creating a receipt is basically building a receipt card with the order confirmed, the item that you order, the total, and so on. And this receipt card is what is called sort of wrapper around elements of the interaction of the UI that you can build for, in this case, making a receipt, but it can be for displaying a video, or for opening a URL, or for downloading or uploading a document. So there are different UI elements. These are called adaptive cards. You have control on the UI, on the layout, and they are specific to meet aspect of the flow itself, of the flow of the bot itself. Now, so in short, what happens here is that as a user, I post a message. No, I send a message with my answer. The bot controller understands what happened and identify in which stage of this sequence I am, so which activity I'm doing. May or may not have a state to memorize. So if I enter a pizza or a pizzeria, it will remember. And state is managed at a user level, so it remembers everything that I say on independently on the channel I am. So in this case, it was a web. It can be also that I'm having the same conversation on Facebook Messenger or on Teams. Or it can be at conversation level or user conversation, so a very private level of conversation. To make it slightly more advanced, I wanted to show you very quickly how you can avoid all this coding. You see, there is a bit of C# in here. It's all right if you know what you're doing. It's not complex, but can you make this bot a bit more flexible so that you don't have to code every single interaction, every single message. But in some way, instead of doing programmatically, you do it from a configuration perspective. So you have to switch from this message sequence to a JSON approach. This JSON approach, basically, you describe in a JSON file the different steps, hello, pizzeria, pizza, pizzeria, goodbye. And then you say, okay, in the hello step, what's the prompt? So what do you asking? You can actually even include an image to make it a bit more attractive. And then you say, okay, the two options are yes and no. And in this case, you can even specify alternative spelling for the yes and for no, so that you accept also a variation of it. Then you go into the pizzeria part of it. So you ask, what kind of pizza do you want? And you see this double pipe here. It means show me the options. And the options are a string, so I have to type, and I can even introduce a variant, so different spelling or different names for the same type of pizza here. And then for the pizzeria, I ask for with pizza. The two pipes means show the list, but this is a number, so it shows me 1, 2, and 3, and I have to choose from one of these, and so on. So this, the way this works is basically that you can store it in your MongoDB, in your Contentful, in your SharePoint, in your whatever backend you want to store this JSON file, and then you just process it. And the bot framework will just process it and build the bot using this configuration rather than the programming part of it. Now, there is a lot of potential in the bot. Here we go. There is a lot of potential in what Super Mario can do. You can build a Super Mario part of it because you can build on different type of inputs. So now I just typed, but you can interact also with a voice recognition. You can use SMS. You can use even devices for recognizing gesture. You can publish on different channels. I'm going to show you that in a moment. It's very simple. And you can use also Q&A, voice recognition, vision. So there are a lot of capabilities. If you're familiar with Azure Cloud, you have probably heard about cognitive services. So all the capabilities for vision, image, voice recognition, text, they can all be integrated. And last thing I want to show you is just the channel. So back to Azure, we have a list of channels that you can do. And the channel list, here we go. Well, these are the channels that are supported. So currently my bot is only published as a web chat, so I can put it on a website, but I can also integrate with Cortana, with Teams, with Skype, Facebook, Slack, and a few other ones. Okay, so just have to choose, okay, in which channel I want to publish it, even via email. You can send email back and forth, or an SMS using Twilio as a provider, back and forth, and interact, and there is a bot behind that. Okay, if you want to get started, everything is on github.microsoft.com/bot framework. There are code samples for all the stages, for building, testing, publishing the bot. Very good repository in there to get started in really in a few minutes. I'm afraid pizza is not included, but hopefully it will be served, lunch will be served soon. Thank you very much. Any question?
We got one down the front here.
Oh, should I have this spotlight in the face?
Okay. When you were running it locally,
yes,
the bot interaction, is that local as well, or is it calling out to Azure?
Now, in this case, it's only local, and there is no need for authentication. So it's running from my Visual Studio. Although, if you want to use capability like language recognition, in that case, he has to go outside and take this from the cloud. Otherwise, if you're not using any language recognition and all your logic is inside your Visual Studio solution, it can run completely locally.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Stefano.